Goal of the 9-yard line. Hamilton keeps it. Touchdown.
And we have got to thank God every minute of every day. Let me get this out of here. Oh, thank you. I'll explain this in a second. But we got to thank God every minute of every day. Good morning, world. It's your boy, One Life Stu, Ryan Stewart. And I'm honored and blessed to be joined by none other than the former Heisman runner-up himself, Mr. South Carolina and Mr. Georgia Hall of Fame himself. He's a Macedonia Fox, true and true. And one of the best from the low country, man. The great Joe Hamilton is in the building to spend some time with your boy, One Life Stu, in the huddle with Joe Ham. That's what this is today. Good morning, y'all. How you feeling today, Joe? What's good, man?
Oh, I'm feeling outstanding, Stu. Outstanding. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Good morning to you. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited in a way that in a few hours when the sun gets at its brightest, right around 85, 87 degree, I'm going to go outside and get me a little tan. How am I going to get my tan? How am I going to get my tan, Stu Dog? I'm going to get it by landscaping. That's a hobby of mine. So I'm going to be edging. I'm going to be weed whacking. I'm going to be cutting, trimming. I'm going to be doing
every
my
week?
Is
it every week, Joe, or every 2 weeks you go out there and get it done?
Every week and a half. Every week and a half. I kind of judge. Yeah, I kind of judge it by the rain. It grows a little quicker. You don't want some little weeds to be on the top. And especially if I don't see it as a job, which I don't, if I don't see it as grudgery, which I don't, I enjoy getting out there and
I love it.
Letting the yard look exactly manicured the way it should look, because it still is true in my day or in our day now that when we grew up, when you approach somebody's house on the outside, I've always been growing up. I've always been taught that that's a man's area.
Right. Yeah, no question.
The driveway, the manicured bushes.
Now we're not saying women can't do it, but no, we view it where we're from as that's part of the man's duties to keep their yard fresh and clean.
Or I rephrase it like this, dude: a part of the experience, what somebody's gonna say. Right. Now it could be the woman doing it, but that's gonna be, oh man, so and so Stu or Joe Ham's didn't straighten up his yard, man. And then when they get inside, which the dishes are not women's responsibility, cleaning the house is just not women's responsibility.
Right.
But when they do get in the house, they're gonna say, man, who wife lives here? Look at the inside of the house. Right. So that's just the way we grew up. So I take pride in outside being very, very neat, and dare I say, to me, it's a hobby. I enjoy doing it, man. I can't wait to get out there later on.
Let's get a little house clean and taken care of first and foremost. In the huddle with Joe Ham, I'm your boy, One Life Stu, Ryan Stewart. We're not coming on tonight. The show is live here at 11. We appreciate everybody because the chat was full when we jumped in here. We appreciate everybody for being here. Bless y'all so very much, and thank y'all for joining us. Make sure y'all continue to pass the word because we will be here every Wednesday. And it's going to fluctuate time-wise because of the summer and what's going on with the kids. Originally, for the last couple of weeks, we've done it earlier because of the basketball. There's no basketball tonight, but there's so much going on with the kids this summer, man, that, it's just best for us to jump in here and get the show done so y'all can enjoy it whenever y'all want. To Joe's thoughts about the house. Sir, I wash at a minimum one load of clothes every day.
Oh.
I fold them up as well. The kids keep their baskets in our room. So every day when they come home, they know just to come to our room, get their basket, take it downstairs, put their clothes away, and return their basket to our room so Dad doesn't have to do that. In the morning when they wake up, they know to take all their clothes with them before they leave the house and put them in their basket in our room. So dad didn't have to go get their baskets. So you mentioned gender roles that we grew up with, where
Yes.
pretty much the man maintained the cars, cleaned the cars, changed the oil, did all that stuff when it was needed. The men took care of the bushes and the yard, and the man did all the stuff in the garage. The men cut the wood, blase, blase, blase.
Yes.
And
Yes.
inside, mom did the majority of the cooking. Mom did the majority of the cleaning. Mom did the dishes. Mom did the clothes. Sir, not in 2025 over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife is on the clock, almost around the clock. Okay? So me not having a full-time job, a job, which I do different things, but I ain't got no job. I'm a full-time dad on daddy duty, and I have no problem cleaning this house wherever it needs to be cleaned while my wife is at work making them damn donuts. Now, when it comes to outside, I do the majority of it, but I'm paying for someone to do the majority of it.
Getting the job done. That's what
I get it done. Joe,
yeah,
I hadn't, and I'm ashamed to say it. My brother talks about it all the time. It is your boy, One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. This is In the Huddle with Joe Ham. We'll get started with some sports here in a second. And boy, do we have a rundown for y'all today. My brother gives me a hard time because I haven't cut my yard in a couple of decades. And every time I talk about it, I feel bad and I feel terrible because I should be cutting my grass.
Well, and here's the deal with that, Stu. I'm not going to, Doug grew up in the house with you. I'm not going to go as far as shaming you like Doug would do, but I kind of knew, we grew up from the same area, the Low Country, right? We grew up cutting grass. I mean, those were part of the chores. Every 2 weeks, whether it's, dew on the ground or not, you're going to cut the grass. You're going to chop wood. You're going to do those type things. And I've always vowed that if I'm home, there's no way I'm going to sit there and watch somebody else cut my grass. All right. So that's the whole thing about it. I grew up cutting it. I know exactly how to cut it, and manicure it. And if I'm away and I can't be there for 2 weeks, when I was playing arena football, when I was playing, when I was coaching and I couldn't get to it, we would have somebody then do it. But while I'm here and I can do it, I have to do it. It's almost to me like a car wash.
Yeah.
I've watched so many cars growing up. My mom's car, every Sunday, you're going to watch the car, grandparents' cars. And when you do that, and all of a sudden I'm here, and I'm in the car going through a car wash, I'm dropping by a dealership and say, wash my car. It doesn't feel right to me. That's all.
I'm not making excuses, but I started the show wearing this neck warmer. Threw it in the microwave, heated up for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
The airplane sleeper.
Right. This is why I no longer wash my vehicles or cut the yard or sling the ditch or edge the drive. This is why. My neck, my back, my neck and my back. You remember that from Friday? So you said you're not gonna watch somebody cut your yard. If I'm playing golf, I'll smoke a cigar, and if the yard guy's outside cutting the yard, I'm out there smoking a cigar, watching him cut that grass.
Oh my God! Hey,
it's shameful. It's
shameful.
It's shameful.
I'm not here to condemn you, and I will not condemn you. Do you have now? This is one thing where I might get on you a little bit, but not much. Do you have the equipment in the garage?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So I can't get on you.
No edger. No weed eater, no lawnmower, no riding lawnmower, no zero turn, no push lawnmower. Sir, my friend, that stuff is not here.
You are excused. Big time. You don't have it. You're not being lazy. You plan for this. And understand your old house, your house in Buckhead, you didn't have the opportunity. That was a neighborhood deal. So that's part of why you hadn't cut grass in decades. But I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not here to condemn you.
The Buckhead was part of the monthly dues, and as much as we paid in monthly dues over there, they needed to cut the grass every day and wash the cars 2 times a week for me, which they didn't. But anyway, man, it is In the Huddle with Joe Ham. I'm your boy, One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. Joe, I'm going to try to remind myself that the Two Live Stews experience is tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Right now, this is In the Huddle with Joe Ham. Of course, I'm going to have some choice thoughts, and I'll share my opinions and my words based upon today's rundown and what we're talking about. But it's your show for your thoughts, and the people are really here to hear what Joe Ham has to say about these topics. Yes, I will be a part. Yes, I will say what I think about what we're talking about, but the bulk of the conversation on these topics from me will come tomorrow. Today, this is for you. Let's go ahead and jump into these NBA finals.
You know what, Stu? I just don't want this to be one of those boring series, boring NBA finals. And it's because baseball can carry some of us. Baseball can carry me every now and then.
I watched the great Guardian-Yankees game last night.
See that? Yes.
Yeah.
But for the average fan, baseball can't carry you. So really, competition-wise, basketball and football, those things during that season, I'm gonna need at least six games in this finals, 6 close games, games that I don't have to turn the channel in the fourth quarter or in clutch moments.
With that being said, great way to start in the huddle with Joe Ham. I'm your boy, One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. He's Joe Hamilton. Will we be treated to a really good series, or is it going to be a ratings nightmare for the NBA and the fans of the NBA with this OKC and Indiana Pacers final? Your thoughts, sir?
Well, I want to be clear on this one because I think it's twofold. I think it can be a really good series and it can be a ratings nightmare. It can be. It can be a ratings nightmare, Stu, because first and foremost, who's going to tune in when you think about it on game one? Who's going to tune in? The average fan, yes. The basketball savants, definitely they're going to tune in. But what about the person that just wants to say what's on TV? Will they make it a Thursday night at 8:30 must-see appointment? The person that's pretty tired, the person that's been traveling or working all day, putting the kids to bed, will they say, hey, I have to do something, and that something is watching the NBA Finals at 8:30? And if they watch it that first game and if it's a dud, a 15, 20-point blowout, not entertaining, not a lot of good plays, not a lot of exciting plays, shot-making ability, skill set being on display, are they going to come back? Are they going to return? Look at the markets. Now, if the individual markets, when you say the Pacers, Indiana, and we talk about OKC and Oklahoma, their fans are magnificent. You go in their buildings, that is a home court advantage. Both of those cities, both of those fan bases. But what about the media? What about the national coverage? What about them being a small market? How are you going to be able to advertise that without or before the game? Who are you selling in this series? SGA is a modest, a low, not known, up-and-coming superstar. And I'm going to refuse to, I've kind of went back and forth with this superstar thing, Stu. We don't have many superstars, okay? I'm not going to water down superstar anymore. And I've been watering it down this entire NBA season because we are looking for the next superstar. We are looking for the next phase.
We're still in the hunt for that. We look for the next Jordan, the next Kobe every damn year.
Every year, Stu. And in doing so, I think we have watered it down a tad bit. I think we've watered down what it requires and what it entails. So with that being said, I think twofold. I think it's going to be a fantastic series as far as playmaking, close games. But I don't know what that's going to do for the ratings if it's going to get the average fan to tune in all game, or all 4 games, or all 6 games, maybe all 7 games, the whole entire game. Yes, a buddy might call a buddy and say, hey, man, you want to tune into this game in this third quarter? And they say, barn burner. You might tune into the third quarter or the fourth quarter. Unlike you and I, we're going to be watching this bad boy from the first quarter or all the games.
I think it's going to be an excellent tournament. And I got another question I'm going to ask you, which is, as a casual basketball fan, is this matchup something you make time for? You kind of alluded to that a little bit just now when it comes to me and you, but I want you to delve into that a little bit deeper. Sir, in the last month, these have been 2 of the most intriguing teams that we've seen in the NBA.
Very good point.
Each one of these teams have 3 to 4 players that have done spectacular things throughout the course of the last month. SGA is the MVP who drops 30, not just this postseason, damn near every game he played, but in the regular season, he averaged 30 points this year.
Oh, yeah.
OKC and their team had the best record in the NBA. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, the Indiana Pacers not only have, we're not going to call him a superstar. We've been through that. We talked about that quite a bit in Halliburton. But Siakam, a former, he's a Eastern Conference MVP. He's a guy that's won a title. Both of these teams can get up and down the court. They run. They love to run. Their pace of the game that they play is fast. Both of these teams will play great defense. Both of these teams will play great switch defense. Both of these teams run plays. Both of these teams are extremely well coached and well built from front office. I mean,
Yes.
I get that it's not the Lakers. I get that it's not the Celtics. I get that, this isn't a franchise that has a legacy that is something that everyone studies and looks up every night. But, sir, when it comes to basketball this year, we've really got two of the best teams that's played the best ball all season. Well, the Pacers didn't start off well.
But they've been playing great since March. Absolutely.
They've been playing exceptionally well
Absolutely.
since March. So, again, I'll say, as a casual basketball fan, not you and I, because if there's sports on at night when our kids get done with their days, we're watching it. I mean, I've even watched some hockey the past few weeks. As the casual fan, basketball fan, is this a matchup that you think make people want to make time for it, Joe?
No. And you know what, Stu? I mean, that was really, really good what you just alluded to, and all those points were spot on. But I listened to you making those points, and you were making those points from Ryan Stewart, the sports guy, the guy that eats and breathes and breathes sports all the time. So you're not casual. Matter of fact, I would say you're an expert in sports. But the casual fan would not know the rundown of what you're talking about. The casual fans, unless they're sitting beside somebody in a bar or have a family member saying that SGA is the MVP, or saying that Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, how they play with the pace and score a lot of points, and Siakam being a former champion, and Rick Carlisle, a former championship coach, they wouldn't ordinarily know that. So what's going to draw the casual fan? What's the excitement? Because again, it's the Indiana Pacers, never won a title. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder that's never won a title. They used to be the Seattle Supersonics that's been to titles. So with that being said, what would draw the casual fans, other than you and I saying that it's an NBA Finals on, it's for the Larry O'Brien Trophy, and or by the way, I think that's not an obligation, but I think it's an opportunity for us sports fans to groom or educate the casual fan. That's why sometimes when you're sitting beside somebody, you say, hey, let's check out a game. You want to watch this game, or are you watching the game? Then you can tell them the questions they may ask. Who's the coach? What's the record? Who's the best player? Because the intricacies of it, which you know and I know, how are you going to slow down the Pacers' high-powered offense? Is anybody going to be able to stop SGA from getting his mid-range and dominating? Can you even score on that defense from OKC? And because if you go back to it, talking X's and O's right quick, Stu, I'm talking about the Thunder, dominated the Pacers in the regular season. And SGA, the MVP, also dominated Halliburton in the regular season. But I do know there's a difference between the regular season and now the NBA Finals. So I don't have a direct answer as far as the casual fans, how they will tune in and how they will enjoy it. But I know it's uphill. I know it's uphill for the media relationship about it, that those markets, so to speak, drawing in new listeners or new viewership with those two household names.
In the Huddle with Joe Ham, I'm your boy, One Live Stu, Ryan Stewart. Do not forget to join the Two Live Stews tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock sharp, right here on this exact same platform, Stewart Media and Entertainment. You can catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on YouTube. We even got an IG page. Two-part question, Joe, as we continue in the world of basketball. As a Knicks fan, my mind was literally blown yesterday when a coach that led his team to the Eastern Conference Finals got fired. This team hasn't been in the finals in 25 years. Under Coach Tom Thibodeau, this team made the playoffs for the last 5 years. Under Coach Tom Thibodeau, this team had a Coach of the Year recipient in 2020 and 21. Tibbs went 226 and 174 as an overall 5-season record since he was here with the New York Knicks. 24 and 23 in the postseason. Now, Joe, the man literally got better every year he was the coach of the New York Knicks. Now, Joe, the man literally just got an extension making like $30 million a year. Okay. It's in the huddle with Joe Ham. Am I the only one scratching my head from this decision by James Dolan to fire Tom Thibodeau?
No. There are levels to this, man. And the number one level is that who are the guys making the decision? And who do they think they are? I mean, you're talking about, seriously, when was the last championship? 1972?
70 and 73.
Oh, 73. I'm sorry, 1973. So when you look back at it, this is not a championship organization. Yes, they have won a championship, 2 championships before, but in my lifetime, that was before I was born. So in my lifetime, I couldn't say this is a championship organization. And when you had the best run in the last 25 years and a guy that's going to be on the on the uprising, and you get rid of him 3 days after he had you reach the Eastern Conference Finals, to me, this is saying this to me, that James Dolan and Leon Rose is the president of basketball operations for the New York Knicks, that they sat down in the preseason meeting and the expectations of how this team is going to go, that they said NBA Finals a bust.
A bust.
And, I don't know that. I didn't see the report, but for what they did in firing Tibbs, that's what I have to get out of it, that he got this far and he failed because it was championship or bust. Let me say something to you right quick. If the Boston Celtics had beaten you guys, and I'm saying the Knicks, he would not have gotten fired. Let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in for a second.
I hear you, but I think we may disagree on that. I think that if that last series, if the Celtics would have beat us, that Tibbs would have definitely been fired, I think.
No way. No, okay. Let me preface by saying
we're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about it.
I'm not saying, Stu, after they were down 2-0 or after the New York Knicks were up 2-0. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about going into the series with the Boston Celtics. Very few people outside of the Knicks fan base and the players themselves and the coaches felt that they can beat the Boston Celtics. Everybody had the Boston Celtics winning that matchup, winning that series. And my point is that if the New York Knicks, everybody's being healthy, had taken the Boston to 7 games, 6 games, whatever, and lost that series, I don't think Tibbs would have gotten fired, because that's the defending champs. And they were, had the guys shooting, and that's a team that played in a better seed in the regular season. I don't think it would have been that kind of an uproar. Meaning, you fast forward to the next series, because you beat the Boston Celtics, right? And now you're going up against the Indiana Pacers. Those same people saying now we should beat the Pacers. We should beat the Pacers, and it should be a shoe-in, in which it was not, and I didn't feel that way, to get to the NBA Finals. That's my point, that because you got this far, because some people thought the Indiana Pacers are not a better team, you should have cashed in. And I totally think that's unfair. I totally think now the next coach better really think twice about taking that job, because how are you going to be judged? Is an organization that's only won 2 championships in the last half a century going to put expectation on you that we must win a championship? I don't know, man. That's tough as a coach going in there with those expectations.
I've watched this team play 60 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched this team play every playoff game this postseason. I think the bad, because there's a lot of good. I got a list that I made 2 or 3 nights ago before this thing was even over, before the final game, of the good Tom Thibodeau versus the bad Tom Thibodeau. I think the bad Tom Thibodeau outweighed the good prior to the Boston Celtics series, we were hearing ad nauseum his rigid rotations and the minutes overload for Julius Randle and Brunson, the fatigue of the stars, the stubbornness and lack of offensive creativity.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it was evident that there weren't plays being drawn up. Sometimes after timeouts, it was ISO ball, get that ball to Brunson, or okay, Randall, jack up a three. Okay, Cat, jack up a three. It was, if you get a shot, go ahead and take it, guys.
Yeah.
The mixed bag of playoff results from 2021 to 2025, I think if Boston would have beat us, that was going to be James Dolan's way to say, I got to shake you down. Which leads me to this next question for you. Who did this? Because I don't hear anybody, and I'm so proud of you and happy of you. You're a sports guy. You know this stuff. You just mentioned Leon Rose. No one's talking about Leon Rose. My question to you is, did James Dolan fire Tom Thibodeau, or was it Leon Rose that is really running basketball operations to fire Tom Thibodeau?
That's excellent, Stu. It's James Dolan. And Leon Rose, he better make sure his seatbelt is on. He better buckle up right away, because this is the same Leon Rose that got Mikal Bridges for 5 first-round picks, brother. That's turning out not to be that smart. This is the same Leon Rose that, got rid of Julius Randle, and say what you want to say about him, and DiVincenzo. Those were defensive guys, so to speak. This is a guy, Hardenstein, let him walk. Let him walk. So when you look at it and you look at Tibbs and his rotation on the bench, he's known as a defensive guy. But what if I look down on my bench at the 8th, 9th, and 10th player, and I don't have anybody on my bench? What do you want me to do? How am I going to play him? And then you got me in a trade with Karl Anthony Towns, the guy that doesn't even know how to spell defense. What do you want me to do? And I'm still playing with a point guard like Jalen Brunson, who's a liability. Understand, I'll take his offense over his defensive liability any day of the week. I'm not calling him out as a player. But those are the things that Leon Rose is going to have take responsibility for. The team that you orchestrated. And listen to this. The Indiana Pacers are a better team than the New York Knicks, in my opinion. But they don't have the better starting 5. They don't have the better starting 5 than the New York Knicks. So that goes back to the team that Leon Rose put together and the assets you gave to Tibbs, Tom Thibodeau.
That's a little revisionist history there when you talk about which team is better. I'm reminding everybody real quick that, I'm gonna stand on business with this. I'm reminding everybody real quick. We were the 3rd seed.
Right.
The Pacers were the 4th seed.
That's right.
We were favored in this damn series.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So everybody that says the Pacers were a better squad, no, the records didn't say that. The seeding didn't say that.
No, don't get too caught up into the regular season. And I agree with you. When you want to go facts, those are facts.
Okay,
those
prior to the postseason, what am I supposed to get wrapped up into? The goddamn regular season. That's all that matters, not the preseason, but the regular season is how they dictate who plays who, where they play at. The regular season matters. So, I got to get wrapped up into the regular season. It was the regular season, Joe, that told me the Knicks were better than the Pacers.
Yeah, but see, Stu, I mean, this is here we go. Low country at its finest. Here we go.
Damn
Stu.
right, here we go. Let's go.
Yeah, because you have to, what emphasis are you going to put on the regular season as far as carrying over to the postseason? Because I present to you this. The Knicks were 0-7 in the regular season against the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. So they didn't win a game against the Boston Celtics in the regular season, and then you fast forward to the postseason, and they beat the Boston Celtics. So there are different things. There are different things you look at when you look at regular season and the postseason. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah, so when you look at it, we are 0-0 going to the postseason regardless. And remember, I didn't say when I said better team, I'm only talking about, I'm giving New York Knicks that starting five, to me, when you look over it overall, is better than the Pacers starting five. But overall, team-wise, that's where I say the Pacers have a better team. They can go 12, 10, 11, 12 deep, where the Knicks they can barely go 8 deep, brother.
Okay. All right. This in the Huddle with Joe Ham. I'm going to read some chat here in a second before we move into NFL and or college football. So before we leave basketball, I'm going to read some chat. But let me ask Joe a couple questions here real quick, okay? You're not a Pacers fan. You're a sports fan. Your team is the Lakers, right?
No, 76ers.
Okay, you're a 76ers fan. God bless your heart.
I know that's right.
Okay, so you know the 76ers. So without knowing what the question I'm about to ask you, answer this question for me. Name the stars, not superstars, not Jordan-like. Name the stars the players you would consider stars for the Pacers.
Halliburton and borderline Siakam.
Borderline Siakam needs to win the MVP. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
Well, I told you I'm not going to water down this thing. Stu, I'm not going to water down this thing.
Wait. I'm not saying superstar as in Jordan or Kobe, which is what I started.
You said star. I know what you're talking about. You said star.
Okay, yeah. On this particular team, who is this? Name the players that this team is counting on for whatever role may be.
Okay.
Back in the day, the Pistons counted on Ben Wallace, not because he was going to drop 30, but because he was going to get 4 or 5 blocks and 4 or 5 steals. He was going to man the paint. So they depended on him. If I was telling you to name me the stars from the Detroit Pistons team that beat them Lakers back in the day, you'd say Ben Wallace's name for sure.
Absolutely.
So
My
I'm
bad.
not saying Jordan type. I'm just saying, who are the Pacers counting on in this postseason?
Absolutely. They have a big time stud in Halliburton. They cut down. Siakam, you have to play. You have to be somewhat of a number one option, Siakam, like you just played in the Eastern Conference Finals. Miles Turner is huge in this series. Absolutely huge dealing with those Twin Towers from OKC. And Mathurin, you need to be on your fire with shooting threes. You need to be.
Whoa, Mathurin. Whoa. You putting him on this list? We didn't say we don't say his name openly. That's the first time we said his name on this podcast.
Well, when he went from six threes in whatever minute to come back against you guys, that's when he was put on that he was a third option. He's the third option, so he put himself up there. But I think we're going too far with you. Need these 3 guys to show up.
Okay.
And those 3 guys: Turner, Siakam, and Halliburton.
Okay. You tried to throw a fourth in there, but it's okay.
Yeah, I tried.
Name me who are the Knicks dependent on? Name me the names that the Knicks depended
on. Jalen Brunson.
Big body.
Yep. Karl Anthony Towns. Big time.
Cat. Yep.
Big Cat. And boy, I'm going to throw in that glue guy. I know I'm going to pass my Bridges, and I'm going to pass Anunoby, and I'm going to go Josh Hart.
Okay.
Because he's a glue guy. Now, not a star, but they depending on what he does on both ends of the floor and his leadership. Yes.
Okay. Which 3 would you prefer? Because you named 3 for each team. I was going to dig a little bit deeper with the Knicks, but it's your show, so I'm not going to do that. Out of the stars you just named, 3 on the 3 with the Pacers, 3 with the Knicks. Which 3 are you choosing?
The Knicks 3.
All right.
The Knicks 3. And I'm not going to try to be the last man with the pen and go with that. Hindsight is 20/20. I know they just beat the Knicks, but that's the core I would want right there.
Let me say something, and this is in the Huddle with Joe Ham. This is going to take us back a few minutes, but I'm going to try to make this comment real quick. I wager on games. Sometimes before I make a wager, I call and consult with you. I especially if it's a big money wager, which to me, anything over $50 is a big money wager. Okay.
Right.
I can't be messing around with the church's money. I can't be messing around with the kids' money. Okay. And if I go over $50 on a game, it's because I know something. I've got an inside source, or the 3 to 4 guys that I call to talk sports with. They've all agreed that they like this team, and here's why. Whenever that happens, I might go over $50 for my wager. I've got one wager that I've made every year for the last decade. When the NBA playoffs start, the 1 seed plays the A seed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I always put $100 on the 1 seed to beat the A seed, and not just to beat the A seed, but to beat the A seed 4 games to none.
Okay.
I do that for the East and I do that for the West. It don't matter who's playing. I do that every year. More times than not, if anything, I'll wash. I'll win one and I'll lose one because the AC sometimes gets a game, or sometimes, like we've seen in the past, AC surprise a few people and win a series. It doesn't happen often, but
right,
sir, we can't act like the seeding doesn't matter. And that's why I brought this up. You tried to allude to the Pacers being a better squad than the Knicks, and we're going to move on past the Knicks, but you tried to allude to the Pacers being a better squad than the Knicks, but seeding, regular season seeding, says otherwise, and that matters.
That matters.
There's five names on the Knicks roster that the casual basketball fan knew more so than knowing 5 names from the Pacers roster.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for us to lose hurts, but for us to fire the coach that built this, because it's built. After Tibbs' first year, the Knicks miraculously did what? Started playing better basketball defensively. Mm-hmm. They're moving their feet. They're switching off. Man, I mean, they're not getting, they're running through picks. That high pick and roll. They're still. So I say all that to say, this Pacer team has beat the odds, and this Pacer team's got the 3 dogs that you mentioned that can all be dogs, but they don't have what OKC has. Where do you think this series ends up? How many games do you think it takes for the winner to win this series, and who do you think's win this series?
Yeah, to be safe, I would go 6, but to really make it interesting for how I watch it, Stu, I don't see this going past 5. And it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle for Indiana to score. It's going to be a struggle for Indiana to get into their offense. And who are you going to stop? And the way OKC switches every pick and roll, every high ball screen, they have guys right around 6'5", 6'6" across the board, their length. And when you get by them with their length, you're going to have to deal with those 2 7-footers and Holmgren and Hartenstein in the back, Hartenstein back in the back. It's just tough sledding. It's just very, very tough sledding in that home crowd. And one thing I love about defense, and Indiana plays pretty good defense as well. The reason why I love about good defensive teams is that when that rim closes up, when your shot is not falling, when you have an off night shooting and scoring, you can close that rim up on the other side as far as those other teams not scoring as well. So they can win a muddied up game. I think they're very, very equipped, OKC, to win a muddied game, 88, 92, 98, 96. I don't think the Indiana Pacers are built that way. As a matter of fact, the stat is not in their favor when they score under 100 points in this playoffs. They lose. So with that being said, I think it's a 4-1 gentleman's type of sweep. Gentleman's type of sweep for the OKC. And that's just because of the matchups. Sometimes you run up into matchups that's just not in your favor, brother.
I like OKC to win this series, but I really think it may be more competitive than these streets are talking about. Siakam can get the ball to the cup. Siakam, you can't play off of him because he's got a jumper. He's comfortable mid-range. He's comfortable behind the arc. He's got a handle. He can get to the cup. He hits free throws. I really think that even more so than Halliburton, him winning the Eastern Conference MVP says all we need to know. He's someone that you just can't game plan to take away from them, because if you game plan on him, Turner and Halliburton's going to kill you.
Yeah. Great point, Stu. Great point, because again, they joke and laugh about it on the Pacers team that they don't even draw up plays for Siakam.
No.
So he's so unselfish. You can't really pick and choose what you're gonna do with him because he roams.
Right.
He might be the facilitator one night.
Right.
He might be the guy offensive rebound.
Catch him in the paint. Catch him behind the arc. He's all over the place.
He's a Swiss Army knife. But I want to say something because I heard you say a few minutes ago about this series is going to be closer than everybody think. I just want to say this too. I swear it is too. But I just want to say to you that this series can be very, very close to, and the OKC Thunder can still win it in 6 games and 5 games. And this is what I mean by that. All 5 games can be clutch time games. Right. Under 5 minute, close, a buzzer beater here, buzzer beater there. You can have 5 outstanding games, and then the Thunder still win 4 out of those 5. Right. Now, it might not be a series on paper that looks good, but if we get 5 good games to where they're not blowouts, I would still consider that a good series, well-played games.
Okay. I hear you, and I agree with that. I just think that there's 2 teams that showed the most tenacity this postseason.
Oh, they belong here. They belong where they are.
And it's the 2 teams that's playing.
Yes.
So for us to just think, because we didn't give the Pacers a damn chance when the postseason started to get to the damn finals. For us to just think that the dogs in Turner, Naismith, who went 8 for 9 from behind the arc in one game, Halliburton, Siakam, for the dogs that they have, if y'all think that at least 2 of those guys aren't going to show just about every night, I think you're mistaken.
Yeah, and earlier in the show, I said Mathurin. You're right, we hadn't called his name. I meant Neesmith. I said Mathurin.
Yeah.
Mathurin is a definite role player. He's a bench player. Yeah, I was talking about Neesmith.
As good as Neesmith played this postseason, especially outside of the game where he dropped the 8 threes, that's a no-brainer. We overlook him. And I'm not hammering you or needling you, but you misspoke and called the wrong name thinking it was him because he's irrelevant. Let me read some chat, man. My man Richard Bullock, man, it's going to be a great series. I agree, Rich, man. Thank you for hanging out and joining your boy. We really appreciate it, man. DJ Chuck, it's going to be a good NBA Finals, possibly 7 games. I agree, Chuck. I didn't say that just now when Joe said strong 5, strong 6, and explained what the strong 5 and 6 meant. I didn't say 7, but I feel this in my heart. I feel just like DJ Chuck in my heart. Why not 7 games? Why not 7 games, man? Keep on rolling with this. DJ Chuck had another one for us. Amazing that 3 NBA coaches got fired after they lost to the Indiana Pacers. Michael Malone, Mike Brown, and Tibbs. Damn. I do know, and I have in my notes written down that, the firings were hot and those 3 guys right here on the list, but they did lose their gigs on the heels of getting smoked by Indiana.
Well, I mean, we talked in nauseam about Michael Malone getting fired 3 days before the regular season ended.
It was crazy.
Mike Brown, I mean, goodness. I mean, he might be up there for the new head coach, coaching vacancy at the New York Knicks. Who knows? Right. But Rick Carlisle, man, that's a well-respected head coach in the NBA. Yeah. He is top-notch. And, he just said 7 close games. And I understand what you guys are saying about a good series. Will it be a better series going 7 games and sprinkling in a few blowouts? Or would you rather have 5 to 6 games of all close games? That's my point about saying good series. And I know it can go both ways. But if I get 7 games and, it's 3-3, and most of the games is a shutoff game in the fourth quarter, it's not even close because the team ran away with it. Yeah, I know it's back and forth and we can get 7 of those games. We want that. But I would much rather, Stu, I'm telling you, I would much rather all games, if it's just 5 games, being down to the wire, under 2 minutes, 1 possession game, 2 possession games. So I want the quality of 5 games as opposed to just 7 games, the number of 7, and they're not good games.
I dig it. Jungle Brother says, yo, finally catching the Day Show live. What's up, Ryan and Joe? What up, Jungle Brother? Appreciate you, man. None but love and respect for you, Jungle Brother. And Jungle Brother popping up has reminded me to do this real quick. Let me see something here, Joe. Well, okay, I better not try to do that. I was going to remind everybody about the cruise that we're having. Two Live Stews cruise for the Super Bowl. We're gonna be doing it. Oh, I'm so excited about it, man. The response has been overwhelming. People are getting the deposits in to make sure that we're holding their room. Make sure that you got to get that deposit in before June 9th. June 9th is the deadline to put in that $50 deposit to hold your room on the cruise. We've got a select number of rooms. We've got the opportunity as of right now to get more rooms, but it's very, very important that you email Arlie at Arliewood, sme.arliewood@gmail.com to let her know that you want your sheets sent to you so you can fill them out and put your deposit down for this room. It's very, very important.
That's well done off the cuff. That's well done off the cuff.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, man. Jungle Brother, really appreciate you watching the show, man. Pass the word. We're going to be here on Wednesdays, man. That's what we're going to do. All right. DJ Chuck has another one for us. Who do you think are the most important players for both teams, Ryan and Joe? We pretty much just done that.
Well, if I have to give you one, I'm gonna tell you right away. Right now, my one for OKC is Jalen. Jalen. All right. Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams. I mean, the all-star Jalen Williams finished, top notch in every category, shooting well, and Siakam. And Siakam. Yeah. And Siakam. Those are my two right away.
If I had to pick the dog for the Pacers that's going to be in this series, why wouldn't I pick Siakam? Yeah. Why wouldn't I pick the Eastern Conference MVP or the Eastern Conference Finals MVP? I know Halliburton's a real dog and he's a beast, but yeah, it's Siakam. Mocha Bella has a message for us. Tonight, the Florida Panthers versus Edmonton Oilers. Go Cats. Mocha's down there in Florida. Congratulations, Mocha. Y'all doing it. Y'all doing it big.
Shout out to Connor David.
Connor David. What a player.
Yes, sir.
Pacers have played good perimeter defense throughout the playoffs. Fly tie. Shots to you, fly tie. DJ Chuck said that. And lastly, if Malone wasn't out there, Tibbs still would have a job. Very good point. And we're about to move on. It is in the huddle with Joham. We're about to move on. Just that quick, Joe. We've been on this thing for 47 minutes. Doesn't feel like it at all. A lot of people saying John Starks. Give me your thoughts on that. On who you think will get
John Starks.
Because a lot of people saying John Starks.
Oh, okay. Miss me with that. Miss me. Man, this is not what they did with Steve Nash. This is not what they did with Mark Jackson. This is not what they did with Steve Kerr. All right. And when I allude to those guys, Golden State, when I allude to those guys coming out of the booth, coming from doing nothing, as far as probably training young kids, being around basketball, but coming and not coaching before. Is John Starks coaching now?
No, not John Starks. I'm sorry. The pastor that was that.
Mark Jackson. Mark
Jackson. I said Starks. I got my New York Knicks point guards. My guards. Okay. My bad.
Okay.
My bad. My bad.
Yes.
Thank you for catching that.
Yeah, I would say John Starks.
Right. No, not John Starks. Now, Jay Williams earlier on First Take, when I saw that for a few minutes earlier, he mentioned Rajon Rondo getting the shot to be the head coach for the Knicks.
You see that in Ray?
Yeah. He talked about how everyone in the league that knows basketball and knows coaching knows that Rondo's been a coach on the floor, and he's got a very high IQ for basketball. So Jay Williams threw out Rajon Rondo for the opportunity. But go back to your thoughts on who should be getting the opportunity.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. But again, when you say Mark Jackson, that name has been floating around for the last 5-10 years since he got let go from the Golden State Warriors. So I think his coaching in the NBA has passed him by. But I do think that's a hot name. But you got to look at the ones that just got fired. The ones that just got fired, and Mike Malone is the top of that list. You still got Budenholzer. Budenholzer's out there as a championship coach. You have him out there. You have Mike Brown out there. But that's the thing with the Knicks, what they've backed themselves into a small corner about, Stu, is that this next hiring is to win championships, right? So this next hiring is to move on to 2025 basketball. And I don't want to mess with my take about Tom Thibodeau and saying it was unfair for him to get fired. But he did some things there now, some in-game adjustments, some of the rotations that you alluded to, running his guys in the dirt, not being able to, have a high pace. He's old school. He's old school in his ways. So
I agree and I understand. But in sports, there's only one team that's going to win the championship. And yeah, there's only one team that's going to win the championship. And all you can ask of these coaches is that every year that they are getting paid these big bucks to coach your team, every year they get better. I know we want the team that only won 12 games last year to have 50 wins and play in the Eastern Conference Finals. But honestly, in sports, with only one team being called the best or the champion at the end of the year, if your coach gets better and significantly better every year and reaches another milestone, he can't be fired.
Yeah, and that's where you have to go.
He can't be fired.
And sometimes the upper management, owner, GM, head coach, you have to ignore the noise.
I'm sorry.
You have to ignore the noise because the New York Knicks fan base, they delusional sometimes, and they get into, we should have a championship right now. Tibbs ain't the guy. They get into all that. If you get caught up into that, then you will lose sight of the direction your program is going.
No Eastern Conference Finals last year. This year, Eastern Conference Finals, and you just talked about the bad. I just talked about the bad. I got another list of good I can share with you. I got another list of good.
Right.
So he goes from no Eastern Conference Finals appearance to an Eastern Conference Finals appearance where should have won that first game, did win 2 of them, really could have been a 7-game series, and you just fire him. So one of the things that really one of the things that really helps a team become a winner?
Stability.
Consistency and stability. Yeah. I got it written down right here. I said one, you said the other. Consistency and stability. Mm-hmm. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the Pittsburgh Steelers because they've had 4 coaches in 100 years. Every 25 years, they're switching coaches. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Chicago Bulls back in the dynasty that they had. There's consistency at the top and on their floor with who? Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman.
That's right.
The Dallas Cowboys back in Jerry Jones's day. The Lakers, the people calling the shots. Every year, what do you hear about? Every year, every other season, the Lakers are making a trade, and not just making a trade for a player, but they're making a trade, getting a steal, getting one of the best players in the league, only giving up fish heads and rice.
Yeah. It's almost like
Winning comes with consistency. You cannot have a level of consistency and respect to get better than what was built under Tom Thibodeau this upcoming season. No matter who they bring in. No matter who they bring in. For me to think that this new coach is going to come in with this roster that was built with Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, and James Dolan in the last 5 years, for people to think that this coach is going to come in and we're going to win a finals is absurd.
There you go.
As a matter of fact, the numbers and the statistics and the analytics tell us that my team is not going to do as good this year because of new leadership.
Okay, but so what happens if I present to you this? I want to hear your thoughts. The Golden State Warriors kind of did the same thing, but kind of did the same thing. Yeah. So Mark Jackson, really good team, developing young stars and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Steph Curry. All of a sudden, he's let go. Steve Kerr comes in, and that's what you needed: a fresh ideas,
right?
A new culture, so to speak. Right. And shortly thereafter, they're champions. Can it be that type of situation? I'm just asking.
No. If this is In the Huddle with Joe Ham, I'm your boy, One Last Stu, Ryan Stewart. Make sure you catch the Two Last Stews tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, bright and early Eastern time, for more entertaining conversation with Doug and I, the Two Last Stews, your Two Last Stews experience. No. Steve Kerr walked into 3 of the best players in the top 10 in the NBA.
No, sir.
Yeah, hold on. He had Steph Curry, the best shooter the game's ever seen. He had Klay Thompson, the only player that I would want to be shooting the ball if I can't have the best player in the league shooting the ball at that time. And he had Draymond Green, a true enforcer in today's league. Those are 3 top 10 players that Steve Kerr was blessed to have.
Yeah, they became that under Steve Kerr's watch, though, Stu. They became that under his watch. Again, I agree with you. I agree.
We don't have that roster. We don't have that kind of. We don't have the strength that the Golden State Warriors had. Dare I say, had Mark Jackson stayed, they still would have freaking won because Mark Jackson was building. That's an anomaly in the world of sports. What happened for Steve Kerr? And to win that many titles. But the part of the anomaly that was not consistent was he had 3 of the best players in the game on his roster that had figured it out under different leadership with the coach that preceded Steve Kerr. That being Mark Jackson. We don't have that. So there's no doubt that our next head coach, whether it's Malone, whether it's Mark Jackson, Budenholzer is the guy that could get it. I like the Rajon Rondo idea, but I do not want a first-time head coach to come in and learn with this roster. So whoever they hire, are they going to get along with Big Body Brunson? Is Big Body Brunson's dad going to have the power that he had to speak to his son and team that he has now next year with a new coach that is going to make sure that it's his team and that people
will he even be on the staff?
Leadership? Will he even be on the staff? There's going to come change because the new coach is going to want his people, not the old people that was here, loyal to some other people. It's the odds of us getting to the finals is.
I hear what you're saying, Stu, and I totally agree. I would just say to you right quick.
And I'm listening because it's in the huddle with Johan. I'm listening.
That new coach is inheriting 2 all NBA players. Okay, so I mean I know they're not Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, but I must say that to you. I must say that he's inheriting.
Point Joe Hamilton.
Right. So
Big Cat and Big Body Brunson are big deals in the NBA. You're right.
Right. So
you're right.
Yeah. And Brunson is a top 3 point guard.
I would want him. I would want Big Body. There's very few people that I would be willing to give up Big Body for.
Yeah.
So Joe, thank you for that in the huddle with Joe Ham. Thank you for that. Thank you for, because I've been having this conversation with a lot of people that's Knicks fans and people that's just trying to needle me. You know, you and I have debated this. You and I have debated and talked about this stuff because we see a lot of things in sports differently. But I didn't give Brunson and Big Cat the value that I gave Steph, Klay, and Draymond, and I should have. You're right.
And I tell you this,
I appreciate that.
And when Steve Kerr took over, none of those guys were all NBA all NBA players yet. They were up and coming, but they weren't that yet.
Well,
so
Steph Curry was already the best shooter in the league. We knew what Steph was.
Yes, because Mark Jackson said so as well. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Loose next side. Brunson's dad will definitely be on the Knicks staff. He was a big reason they lured Brunson away from the Mavs. The Mavs lowballed him in a negotiation, and his dad was on the Knicks staff, and it was a wrap. I remember that story. That's true. Yeah. I do hope that his dad stays around again. The new coach may not see the value in Brunson's dad that was seen in him from Tom Thibodeau. I mean, you know.
And think about this now. Jalen Brunson, he's already been paid. He has his money. So
right.
There's no negotiation there. And that makes me think of another thing, another question. Were the players informed? Were they consulted? Did they have a say in Tibbs going? Because you remember Jalen Brunson said the other day, what kind of question is that if you think Tibbs is the right guy?
I'm trying to get down the rundown, but let's jump back up to the top because that was something I did want to talk to you about. In a situation where Tibbs gets fired, in a situation where Malone during the season gets fired, is the Joker in Denver, is Big Body Brunson in New York, should they be consulted being the star? Or if OKC decides to fire their head coach, should SJ should SGA be consulted? That's my question to you. Should the star have a say so? Should the star know what's going on?
Yes. Double down. Hell yeah. Yes. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Consulted, and there's distinct difference where I'm going to say to you, Stu, consulted, hear from, ask questions, be informed by, but not having all your eggs in that superstar's basket. You're just getting ideas from him. That's it. What do you know? What are you hearing? How's the locker room? How's this coach? What is his strengths? What are some of his weaknesses? Those type things. And for me to sit here and for you to sit there and we don't think Big Body Brunson or maybe Big Cat or any of those guys had some input, or they said something about Tibbs that the owners, James Dolan and maybe Leon Rose, didn't like, that pushed it to the edge to where they're going to fire him. That's irresponsible for us to do that. The players have a lot of say-so in today's NBA. The Joker had something to do with Mike Malone. I don't know how much. And Brunson and company had something to do with Tibbs. I don't know how much.
I thought Big Body Brunson was being genuine at the press conference when he. I thought it was being. I felt that, and I because we talked about how rigid he runs the guys down. Yeah. I'm sure that Bridges made that known. He made it public knowledge that the players, they'd be like, "Hey man, we tired," Okay. But I felt a genuine understanding of player and coach when Brunson did what he did yesterday when Tibbs was fired. You know why, Stu? You know why? The day before when he said, when he stood up and walked away like, I don't believe you just asked me that. Yeah, and you know why, Stu? And this is just my humble opinion. How are you going to say anything except that's a crazy question? And yes, you want Tibbs because your dad is on the staff. All right. So when you all of a sudden blaming that coaching staff or blaming the coaches, the head honcho is Tibbs. The head honcho is Tom Thibodeau. But your dad is a part of that staff. So it's almost going to be calling out Tibbs and your dad. Right. So, yes, he was real and saying what he's saying. Ooh. No doubt about it, in my opinion. You've never scored this much. In the huddle with Joe Ham, I'm your boy, one last two, Ryan Stewart. I'm loving it, man. That's your NBA talk, man. We got your thoughts on this series, of course, next couple of weeks at a minimum. Even if it's a sweep, we'll have the next two shows that we do on Wednesdays because we're here every Wednesday. We'll have the next two shows to talk about the finals, which should be entertaining. We both think it's going to be a competitive series. Yes. Even though Joe says it could be done in 5, I see it going 7. So I'm excited about it. I think we talked about it today in a way that could shine light on it to the total basketball novice to understand that there's some substance here. Yes. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch. Oh, it's gonna be a ratings nightmare." I think whether you're a basketball savant or you're just a casual watcher that enjoys, it's gonna be something that you both will be able to experience. I really do. Right. That's right. There's some players in this finals that have really, when you look at the season in totality, have played good ball this season. That alone should make it worth watching, and I think it's a square matchup. I do think OKC is the better team, but not by much. Not by much. Who's going to be the next guy that's going to be on that list that comes out of nowhere for the casual fan? So you can bet your bottom dollar by the end of this series that starts tomorrow, somebody's going to make a name for themselves. I agree. It'll be so interesting. Of the MVP of this series is not SGA, right. It's not Halliburton, or it's not Siakam. Who else could be a Iguodala? You remember Iguodala? Right. He's the MVP. Right. He was the MVP of the first Golden State title. Don't sleep on Siakam getting the MVP. However, you know what that would mean. If Siakam gets it, then I'm saying the Pacers might win. Don't sleep on Siakam getting it. But hands down, it's going to be SGA. He's the player that is the stat stuffer and can do it all. That's right. So, I mean, and not only is he that player, he's also the player that's going to control the tempo of the game. He's going to have the ball if he wants the ball, So, man, I'm excited. I mean, I'm really excited, man. Goodness. Can't wait. Or can they find a way to slow him down? Hey, man, before we get out of here, we got to do a little Yellow Jacket talk.
Oh my goodness, man.
We're wrapping up in the huddle with Johan, man. Outstanding day. Again, I got you down for 4 points. You've never done that good. You've never done that good. So, and I like that. I like that. I really like that. Yeah, y'all. It's in the huddle with Johan, but I keep score during this. The Yellow Jackets, man, are in the news. We'll start with the big thing that you and I have debated at nauseum, and I stopped and said we got to save it for the show. I'm not going to have much to say with this because this is in the huddle with Johan.
Yeah.
But our alma mater has given out participation rings.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they've called them, if that's what they're called or the term is.
I'm going to use that term. I'm going to use that term, sir.
I don't know if because they beat 2 top 10 teams this year, if that was the reason why these participation rings were given out. I'm not even going to tell you how I feel, yay or nay, but what I will say is they gave out some type of participation rings. I want to know your thoughts on this, Johan.
Stu, I have on my shirt today, GT, Black Alumni Association, on my GT shirt, right? Okay. Black Alumni Association.
That's one of my favorite Georgia Tech shirts.
Absolutely. And I had to represent GT today because I knew we were going to talk about it. It was on my mind big time. And I love my opportunity. I'm grateful to be able to talk to you about this situation, about how I feel. And why I say you, because you're alma mater as well. You know how I breathe, think about Tech all the time. I love them. But this is embarrassing, Stu. I'm embarrassed. This does nothing for our program. Absolutely nothing for our program as far as ascending. This doesn't say that we're a program that's on top. This says it's a program that we are searching for little victories. We're not that. We're not that. Beating the top 10 beating 2 top 10 teams in 1 year is not our pedestal. Getting a ring when you one game above 500 is not our pedestal. Not being a champion of a bowl game is not our pedestal. All right, not winning the conference championship is not our pedestal. You giving out a ring and the ring says that you are 7-6. The ring states that you beat number 3 Miami. What is that saying? Where's the kudos there? Kudos to what? That's not a Georgia Tech season. To some people, that can be an outstanding season. Yes, I know we're excited about Brent Key. Yes, I know we're excited about eight overtimes against Georgia, being on the cusp, getting top 5, top 10 offensive linemen in the nation. Yes, but that's not saying a program that's won 4 national championships. That doesn't embody that. And that's why I'm looking back at it, that I have friends that's going to laugh at me. And they've laughed at me in my face. Y'all did what? Y'all gave it a ring for what?
Right.
So I feel that way, Stu. I feel a little bit of let down. Shout out to those seniors. Shout out to everybody that got a ring. It's nothing to gloss over. All right. It's not anything to gloss over, but that's a participation ring that you went through a season and you beat a top 10 team. And that's it, Stu. We're bigger than that, in my opinion. Much bigger.
Shouts out to Younger Brother for the super chat. Send in $2, and we always read super chat when they come in. Vote for Ryan's top 5 list. Appreciate that. Vote twice if you can. I don't think you can, but I appreciate that, Younger Brother. Y'all go to the Stu's page and vote on my top 5 for you, man. I really appreciate y'all's love and support and respect. Appreciate that, Younger Brother. Joe, I hear you, and I agree. As we wrap up in the huddle with Joe Ham, I hear you and I agree. But I would like to counter and add an amendment to what you just said, if you will allow.
Yes, I definitely will allow.
Okay. So after I say what I say, I'm going to look to you for a yay or nay, agree or disagree. And this rarely happens, but no matter what you say, I will take that and agree after I stake my claim.
Okay.
I heard everything you just said, and I agree. It could be somewhat embarrassing unless you're looking at it from the perspective of what are we supposed to do at Georgia Tech? You got several schools that are spending $20 to $25 million each on a roster. Ohio State's done that the last couple of years. Michigan's doing that. Southern Cal's doing that. These schools are spending more money on players than some NFL teams.
Yes. Facts.
What are we supposed to do? We're going to talk about Jay Batt leaving in a second. I'm not trying to see your thunder. We're going to talk about our athletic director who's been there 2 or 3 years, done an outstanding job, how he's taken off to Michigan. We're going to talk about that in a second because the premier jobs, to my understanding, after doing my research and making calls, are the Big Ten and the SEC. So what are we supposed to do? If every coach that we get that shows some promise or does a good job or has multiple 1,000-yard backs or receivers over, if every coach that comes leaves within 2 to 3 years, if we can't keep an athletic director more than 5 years, we can't keep a head coach, what are we supposed to do? So if there's some little things internally within that can be done that makes our players say they're thinking about me. They appreciate my efforts. Beating 2 top 10 teams, it was special. Not a lot of teams do that. Not a lot of tech teams have done that. They're acknowledging my accomplishments. They're acknowledging my accomplishments. As much as I don't like it, Joe, I think in 2025, unlike when you and I were there, we got to do more for these kids for them to want to be Yellow Jackets. There's not many of them that's getting a few million, if any of them. They're not all driving Dodge Chargers like the Utah team. Our NIL is trying to figure it out. We ain't there yet. So my request to you is to understand us as alumni and people that still give to the school and love the school and will wear a Yellow Jacket shirt. People like us have to understand that we got to dig deep to try to compete. And Brent Key is doing that.
Yes, he's competing. He's competing. But this sets recruiting back.
So you still say nay.
I still say nay, but I want to give you a thumbs up because this is going to make you laugh. Okay. What you just did to me, Stu, you just explained participation ring. Yes, thank you. You just explained everything you said was all about that you played, you did some good things, so you're gonna get rewarded. You didn't win anything. Yeah, you beat the number 3 team. You didn't do anything, but you did participate. You did well. So here goes your little trophy that I'm gonna pat you in the back a little bit.
You know, God has blessed me, and this is In the Huddle with Johan. We gotta go. We gotta go. Thank y'all for pulling up on us. We really appreciate it, man. Every Wednesday we're here. You know, God's been beyond amazing, and I thank him for it every day, all day. But you know, one of my favorite accomplishments?
Talk to me.
My name is still on the weight room at Georgia Tech. It's on the wall.
Yes.
Because I benched more than any DB that's ever been there. And that number is still standing. That number is 440 pounds. That number is still standing. But that's recognition being on that wall at Georgia Tech for something that I did that means something.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Recognition.
Yes.
That's recognition. These kids need recognition and they need money. They need recognition. So if you know that as a player, you have the opportunity to get some type of recognition for your efforts, that may matter. I'm just saying we're a special situation in a beautiful city that has an amazing degree. The connections are bananas, but when it comes to competing with the likes of the people in Athens and the people in Tallahassee and the people in Miami, we got to do something. We got to do more. That's all I'm pleading to you. I don't want no participation ring, but damn it, that's a nice ring.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, Stu, with you saying we have to think outside the box. Yes. Yes, we don't have the luxury of not thinking outside the box. So we do. We must think outside the box, but getting everybody a ring is not thinking outside the box to me. On a 7-16.
What's your thoughts on J-Bat leaving Georgia Tech before his 3rd season and heading to Lansing, Michigan State?
Yeah, Michigan State. Shout out to J-Bat. He's did a marvelous job as far as renovation of the Athletic Association. That's looking good. I think we just got improved. The Yellow Jackets of remodeling the stadium. Outstanding. J-Bat was, a huge fundraiser. First time AD. But that's my little take back of where we are as a program that everybody's going to continue to poach when you do well. I want somebody to come in here, the next guy that doesn't see Georgia Tech as I'm going to be there 3 or 4 years. I'm going to turn that program around. I'm going to raise a lot of money. And then when the big dog come or a bigger dog come or a bigger powerhouse come, I'm going to be out. And this is not just something I'm coming up with J-Bat. Radakovich, same way. Radakovich did some really, really good things here on the flat, down on the flats, and here you go, Clemson coming, and then he left for Clemson, greener pastures, so to speak. We all came, you and I went to school, it was Homer Rice. Homer Rice got a little older, and then after that it was Dave Brain, then Mike Bobinski, then Todd Stansberry. I mean, where you said consistency and stability. Now, the people who we looking for is somebody like a Todd Stansberry. I'm not getting into how he, did his job, but we're looking for guys that nobody was going to call and entice him to move.
Right.
Brent Key. I like the fact that Brent
a
Key.
Yellow Jacket guy. He's a yellow jacket.
I don't think anybody or just anybody can call and say, come over here, and he'll be on the next train out of here.
Ooh, Joe, guess what?
Yeah.
That's another point.
Yeah.
That's another point. I mentioned it being a special place, and you just alluded to the same thing. Yes. It's going to take a person that has Georgia Tech ties to say, you know what? There's only 1 or 2 jobs that's going to call, and I'm going to leave. Other than that, I'm fine being here and building a culture at Georgia Tech. I am a Yellow Jacket. And Brent Key is one of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Real quick, man, as we get ready to wrap this thing up, beautiful Tuesday. Thank you, Joe. Outstanding job today, man. Tiffany Poodle in Portland, thank you for listening, Tiffany. Y'all please continue to pass the word. She donated $2 to the cause, man, and said, how much can you bench now, Ryan? I wouldn't know. Tiffany, I wouldn't know, girl.
Hey, you didn't give yourself, you didn't go in depth to what your name was on the board. Your name was on the board definitely for bench press, but you also was up there, and I don't know who owns it now, but for a 4.41 in the 40. Yeah. When I came to Tech, you were up there at the DB room, the fastest 40 time at a 4.41 that was marked. But I don't know if that still stands. I know the bench still stands, but I don't know if the 4.41 still stands.
These kids so fast these days, I probably doubt that was still up on the wall. Before safety, at the size I was moving.
Yeah, safety.
I was moving.
But anybody 4.41 is moving.
Yeah, I was moving, man. Dude, I had gone to Denver prior to the combine to train. I trained in the high altitude for like 2.5 months before the combine.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So when the combine was over and I ran my times and had my workout at Georgia Tech, I had 2 days before I ran, I was literally in them hills in Denver running, So I came back in the best shape I'd ever been in my life, like 6.2% body fat. I was ready. So I literally ran the perfect run when I got time. It couldn't have been no more perfect. Perfect start, stay down, drive train, all of it.
Ooh, that's
what
track
a great
terms.
What a great show, man. Thank you, man.
Man, that's good stuff, man.
That's good stuff. Thank you, man. And we appreciate y'all joining us, man. I got one more start message to read before we get out of here. DJ Chuck, you can finish it off for us today, man. The New York Knicks need an Ime Udoka type of head coach. A coach that understands how to make game time adjustments.
Spot on.
I agree.
How does that work, Stu? Real quick, do you know how that works as far as
thank you.
How does that work as far as how do you have to trade to get a coach from another team? Is it like a John Gruden getting from Oakland to the Tampa Bay Bucks, or just a highest paid?
There's been coaching trades in the past. Yes, if your coach is under contract, what's the coach that's now in Milwaukee? Doc Rivers. He was traded once or twice as a coach. Yeah.
Traded?
Yes. Doc was a part of a trade.
Okay.
And there's a couple of coaches that have been a part of a trade. Yeah. Sir, if you're under contract with said team, your contract can be negotiated. Your contract can be traded. It's just business.
It's just business.
Yeah,
He's got to be careful.
The coach, the athletic, the coach, the general manager, the president. Yeah, I got your rights. You on paper with me.
Yeah. And Ume Udoka is an excellent coach.
He's
excellent.
Phenomenal coach. He's every place he's been, he's turned it around in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing Tom Thibodeau did. Same thing Tom Thibodeau did. Next Wednesday, y'all, same time. Maybe not same time, but same day. Next Wednesday for sure. Make sure you subscribe to the show In the Huddle with Joe Ham. That way, whenever we do plan on popping up or coming on, you'll be notified so you know that we're here. We appreciate y'all for being here. The 12 o'clock time slot looks like it's pretty good, Joe.
Solid as a rock, brother.
Round of applause for everybody in the chat room. Thank y'all very much, man. For the few super chatters that participated, thank y'all very much, man. Outstanding job by you, Joe. A+ for you. Don't forget, y'all, tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, right here on YouTube, right here on Facebook and Instagram. The Two Last Twos experience will be here. A lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff we talked about today, but just from a perspective of Doug and I, me and my Bubba. So y'all keep it locked. We'll see y'all next week, man. Peace and blessing, y'all. We appreciate you. Nothing but love.
Goal of the 9-yard line. Hamilton keeps it. Touchdown.